Oh, Dieu, stop this infernal mewling, else I swear I will turn you into soup.
Okay, before we get started, no, I am not trying to seduce any of you. Unless you're my woman, then, yeah. How's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another episode of the Mind of Mando. I'm your host, Armando Ortega, and I hope you guys are having an incredible day. You guys are at work. Don't worry, just a few more hours. You'll be out soon. If you guys work graveyard, hope you have a good day's sleep. I'm prepared for tonight. Tonight is, what is it, Thursday? Yeah, some clubs down here at least start opening up on Thursday. So yeah, music we're listening to today is just some jazz. What kind of jazz is this actually? Because I just go to YouTube and I hit jazz, and there's always these live videos of jazz, and they're like, they always correspond with the day of the week. So Monday jazz to Thursday jazz, Friday jazz, and everything like that. So this is smooth jazz, relaxing, just focus. And it fits, just hear my voice, listening to some nice music in the background, not too overpowering, hopefully. And just, getting ready for the topics is at hand. A little bragging about myself before the day carries on. One thing that I that I've actually been told over and over and over again for the past few years is, one, my voice does not match my face, and two, that I have a very good voice for radio, for podcasts, for speaking in general. And at first I never really understood that. I never really did anything that would, that would get me to realize that or anything like that. But I've had friends, I had schoolmates, I had even family, just and random strangers. I remember just tell me the same exact thing. I remember one time I was back in 2017. I was with some homies and we went to the North Park area here in San Diego, and we were out drinking, having a good time, just mobbing it. And how do you call it? So we met some randos. We hit it off. We vibed. But I guess I wasn't speaking much. I was just drinking. So finally, I started speaking. And when I did it, those guys that we just met absolutely could not believe how I sounded. They were like, "Oh my God, your voice does not fit you at all. Oh my God." I don't know whether to take it as a compliment or not when people say it like that, but I take it as a compliment. Why look at life negatively? Try and look at it a little positive from time to time. So yeah, just gonna get started on today. We have a full battery, empty SD card, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but my SD card was acting kind of weird and everything. When I would delete stuff, it wouldn't allow me to delete stuff, but then when I would look at stuff that it wouldn't allow me to delete, it'd be deleted but replaced with this section with a question mark that was corrupted basically, and it wouldn't let me delete it from my computer either. Had no idea until a few episodes ago I realized my SD card was clear from everything, and now I get to delete it from my camera and absolutely no corruptions or weird messages pop up. So yeah, today is my day off. Quite enjoying it. It's a beautiful sunny day, but it's hot as hell. It is so hot. And I went out for a bit. I need to go get some rent money and maybe get a cup of coffee. Usually I get hot coffee. I like iced coffee, but I'm more of a hot coffee kind of guy. But I went out there. It was so hot. Oh my God, it was so hot. I was like, you know what? Iced coffee for me today. I'm sounding hella bougie, So walking out with my satchel, with my notebook, going to my favorite cafe, and just enjoying a nice iced coffee because it's a little too warm here in San Diego. What has my life come to? I used to be a thug. No, I'm playing. And yeah. All right, so starting off with today, what I'm trying to do is I'm gonna try and make Guinness stew, but if not, there's these cool Argonian shrimps that I can make from my cookbook. Which honestly, seeing how it's already past, well, it's already 1 o'clock. I'm gonna go and just make those shrimps. I just gotta stop by the store real quick and then make some sweet rolls. But that's only if I get the mini bunk cakes, molds and everything. I already have the ingredients for all that anyways. I just need to go but get shrimp. I have everything else. You know, when I was going out today, going to the bank and stuff, one thing that I observed, and I never really, realized this about myself, but I really do have a pet peeve when it comes down to something so just non-important. You know what I'm talking about? Basically, I don't like it when employees who work in the kitchen or anything else that have to have a uniform on, take their breaks in their uniform, in their apron, etc., etc. When I first started working legitimately, when I graduated high school, I started working for Jimmy John's. We didn't have our own bathroom in the store. We had the public restroom. My boss at the time always was adamant, was always strict when it came down to us going to our breaks and going to use the bathroom. He was just like, take off your apron. Take off your apron if you got to use the bathroom. Never leave the store with your apron on. And it made sense. It's just, it should be standard practice. Don't leave the store or the kitchen with your apron on. Take it off. Get some hooks, take it off. Why? Because it's gross. That apron is supposed to protect you from your clothes from having food splatter. But you know what an apron also doubles as? If you need to wipe off a utensil real quick, it's right there. One, your apron is supposed to always be clean before you even use it. But two, it's supposed to be right there. Imagine wiping a utensil that you're using to cook, but you use that apron also when you're in the bathroom. That's gross. That's disgusting. And it's just something that I started noticing. A lot of people don't notice it because they never had to experience something like that. But it's something that I did, and I can't stand it, which is why I'm like somewhat picky about where I go eat from time to time, because it's like, believe it or not, even the most high-end, classy restaurants, the workers do that, and it's not the best. So, how do you say it? Yeah, it just doesn't look good. So today I was walking by and I saw this guy. He works at this one place called Baked. It's just a big old place. And he works in the kitchen. He's there with his apron, his shirt on, and everything like that. And he's just sitting at the tables where the customers go to enjoy their meals. He's just there on his phone, full apron, full everything. And I'm like, bro, really? Like, not even taking off the apron? For me personally, whenever I go on break and I'm not taking it in the office or the employee lounge, if I'm just out and about anywhere else while on my break, I take off my blazer and I put on my regular jacket. No, that's it. People are still going to notice you that you work there. Actually, no, they're not. When I go on break, people don't notice who I am unless they get a really good look at my face, and that's it. How is that possible? It's just a jacket change. It's actually very possible. And a lot of people don't realize how much difference a single article of clothing can actually make when you're out and about. I've worked jobs where I had a uniform. I had PDUs and everything. And I looked a certain way. And for the general public, whenever they would know who I am, that's all they see me in. So after that, whenever I just take off my uniform shirt, I just keep the pants on, to be honest, and my boots. But when I would take off my belt, my uniform shirt, and just put on a jacket, people wouldn't know who I am. When it was my days off and I ran into some people that knew me in uniform, they wouldn't know who I am. They would have to take a double take, a triple take, sometimes even 4 takes to realize that, oh crap, Ortega, what's up? And it's just like, hey, what's up? They couldn't recognize me. Why? Because it's just the power of clothing, whether it's just one article of clothing or 2. The power of just changing something means the difference. And that's why people, like, I understand people are like, oh, look at Superman. Superman, all he does to change the Clark Kent, nobody recognizes Superman. He just puts on a pair of glasses. It's more than that, actually. 1, Superman has his iconic curl in the front of his hair. When he's Clark Kent, he changes his hairstyle completely. 2, glasses can change people a lot. Have you ever seen people with glasses for so long that seeing them without them, it's weird? Yeah, it has a huge effect and everything. I know I'm just talking about Superman, but side example of that is Zooey Deschanel. All she needs to do is take off her glasses and just sweep her bangs to the side. Wouldn't even recognize her. I'll post up a picture, but you wouldn't even recognize her. It's like, you tell me those are the same people? No, because Zooey Deschanel has that iconic bangs with her big glasses look that whenever she doesn't have either one of them or both, people don't know who she is until it gets pointed out to her. Hold on 1 second before I continue. It's my last can of Hi-Fi juice. Oh man, that's good. Excuse me. So yeah, people don't recognize her, and all she didn't even change clothing. All she needed to do was sweep her bangs to the side and take off her glasses. You're telling me that can't work for Clark Kent? For Superman, change his hair and put on a pair of glasses? Not only that, it has to do with mannerisms as well. Superman is powerful. Bullets can't hurt him. Missiles can't hurt him. He's faster than a speeding locomotive. He can leap an entire building in a single bound. Everything like that. You know, the whole classic way of Superman stuff. And he's only been able to do more and more after that. He's confident. He's powerful. People look at him and they just see a pillar of hope. But then you look at Clark Kent and he's just this goofy guy just drooling over Lois Lane. That's it. You tell me those are the same people? It's the power. It's the power of small changes have that make you from somebody people see every day to somebody unrecognizable. Trust me, try it. Try it, for reals. So yeah. So that's the whole thing. It's just like when I go on my breaks, people don't know who the hell I am. People will see me at work, and when they see me outside of work, they kind of gotta take some time to finally realize that it's me. So yeah. How do you say it? Yeah. So let me turn this down just a little bit. My buddy and I today, we talk a lot of crap online, but my buddy and I today, we were like talking, saw this one post online where people, you remember how last episode I'm talking about how people have the right to defend themselves and everything, and people need to take accountability, and how things, although not popular, regarding circumstances or statuses, and who are the ones involved in a crime, things can look so bad in one side, but come out completely justifiable in the end. Like, if someone told you, hey, a biker killed this pregnant woman. She was a librarian. He killed her in front of her house. A lot of people would be like, that's terrible. What the hell? That biker needs to be buried. But then when you tell them, oh yeah, and that biker was found innocent, it's like, oh, injustice. But then you give them the full story of like, oh yeah, that biker was minding his own business and the woman was driving in her car. She had road rage, so she purposely hit him with her car and made him fall in the middle of the road while on his bike. And people are like, oh. And it's like, oh yeah, and then when she did that, she drove away. So that's a hit and run. Oh wow. And it's like, yeah, so they were calling the police, following her so the police can get there and arrest her. And it's like, okay. And then she came out with a gun and pointed at the biker to shoot him. So that's why he shot her. It was like, oh, well, that's different, So there was a situation today. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Yeah, I'm taking forever. You know, I should have been way better prepared for this, but I'm not. So it is what it is. Okay, here. When did this happen? It's an article that I saw today. Could have happened. No, it happened yesterday. Yeah, yesterday at 6:40 in the morning, or before that, actually. Yeah, so this article was posted out yesterday at 6:40 in the morning, correction. And it took place in Pasadena, Texas. So what had happened was, it was just a story about, it says this. It's a very short article. I'll just read it to you. It says Pasadena, Texas. A woman told police she was forced to fire, shooting and killing a man Wednesday in Pasadena. The woman told officers she was sitting in her vehicle on South Houston Road near West Southmore just after midnight when a man approached her. She said she felt threatened, so she shot him. The man was taken to a hospital where he died. A grand jury will decide whether the woman will be charged, according to the police. That was it. That was the end of the article. This article, as of now, when I'm reading it, has zero update. So what conclusions would you make from that? What is your ideas? Do you think, hey, this gave us very limited info, this is really new, we'll wait for an update before we really, decide, was this justifiable or not? That's what people, and I'll say this without embarrassing, this is people who think critically and people who think logically would do. Unfortunately, we're living in a time where that's considered an ism, a phobic, or anything like that. So, you want context before making a decision. Hey, dude, you're racist. You're sexist. You're phobic. Why? What does context matter? And why does it make me an isthenism or a phobic if I just want context of an event that happened because I was given very little information? If anybody tells you that, just let you know they're not looking to argue with you. Oh, correction. They're not looking to have a conversation with you or a debate or anything like that. Those are people who will kick and scream because they never got disciplined when they were childs and threw a tantrum. They still are grown-ass people who will throw tantrums. Honestly, it's not worth it. Continue having your mentality. Trust me. Yeah, you'll probably lose some people because you're not following the status quo. But at the end of the day, you don't want people like that in your life. And one day, maybe not, but one day it'll hit them and just be like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have acted like that. Come on. So yeah, so that's what happened. So that happened just after midnight in Pasadena, Texas. The article I read to you was published that very same morning, but at 6:40 in the morning. Now there's another one, different news source, but it was published at 4:27 in the morning. And it was updated again that very same day, but this time in the afternoon at 2:53 in the afternoon. So I'll read. It's not a long article. I'll read it to you guys. Oh yeah, let me finish my original thought. So my buddy, he showed me, he tagged me in the article, and I seen that little information, read the comments on it. People were saying the same thing. Oh, it's justified. It's justified. How? Oh, well, if you're walking by someone's car at midnight, you're kind of asking for it. So they deserved it. What? Are you serious? It's like they have that mentality of like, well, you don't know because you don't live in a dangerous neighborhood. And it's just like, homie, I'm from the Bay. From the Mission District when it was like La Raza growing up. Not only that, I lived in Oakland, fool. It's like I know what it is to be in the hood. But I still don't have that mentality. If I feel nervous around any group of people at any time of the day or night, I'm not going to take them walking up to me as an automatically, they're going to jump me. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait to see what they're going to do because you can just tell when someone does a specific thing, you just know it's about to pop off. But honestly, just someone walking to your car, that's not a reason, especially if you're inside the car, you know? So yeah. Well, anyways, hold on one second. He's like, hey, was there any indication that excuse me, was there any indication that how do you call it, this young lady's life was in danger? Did he brandish a knife, a firearm? Did he attempt to cut her? Did he attempt to open the door and force his way inside? Was he pointing a gun at her? Anything like that to warrant her to act in self-defense in that manner? We weren't told that information. So now at that point, people are just drawing conclusions, or people are just, how do you say it, with their hood mentalities, being like, oh yeah, no, he deserved it. How are you gonna walk to a car at midnight? And I'm like, I get it. You grew up in that type of hood. You grew up around those type of people and everything like that. I understand when it's just like, if you live in a dangerous area, some fool walks up to your car, beelines to your car in the middle of the night. Yeah, you're gonna have that mentality of, oh crap, they're about to do something to me, because what do you call it? Because this is what I know. This is what I grew up around. I know this type of stuff happens this way. So you pop out and you shoot him and he dies. Turns out that dude just wanted to tell you that you have a tail light that's busted, or your tire's flat, or was just gonna ask you if you had any change or something like that. What if that person was literally beelining to your car because they needed to get past your car to get to their car, or get to a door they were heading to, and between your car was the only way to do so, and then you just killed this fool? That's justified? Oh, well, it's past midnight. You know? No, that's not a lawful argument in the court of law. If you kill somebody at midnight and you go to court and they're like, well, you gotta understand, Your Honor, I'm from the hood. You know, you just don't do that to people. And, it's after midnight. You think the judge can be like, oh, for sure. Yeah, no, I get it. Damn, homie, you had to stay strapped, dog. It's just like, no, just not judges that can do that. Like, okay, what did they do though? He walked towards my car and it was past midnight. Okay, but what did he do though to warrant to get shot and killed? I mean, you just don't do that. But what did they do? And you can't answer that question, and your only response to that actually is just like, well, it's past midnight and they walked towards my car. You're going to prison. So yeah, so I just see a lot of people trying to justify it that way without any additional information. That's why it's very important to wait for additional information, because that way you won't look foolish. So because if you just if you just shoot somebody dead because they were walking towards your car and that's it, gave you no reason to fear for your life, you're a murderer. Well, anyways, so now there's this other article that actually clarified a lot. I'll read it to you guys. Pasadena, Texas. An investigation is underway after police said a woman shot and killed a man who was banging on her co-worker's car window and crashed into other vehicles while at a business in Pasadena Wednesday. Now we got more in that one paragraph. We just got a bigger picture, more information. Officers with the Pasadena Police Department received a call about a shooting at a laboratory business located at the 1404 South Houston Road around 12:16 a.m. Upon arrival, police said that they learned that an employee exited the company building through an electric gate when she saw a man hitting the side window of her car with his fist. Investigators said the man also yelled at the employee, who said she did not know or recognize the man. So this woman, unlike the first article, was saying that she was in her car while the man walked towards her car. This article with more information is now showing us the picture that she wasn't even in the car. She was exiting the place of business through a gate, and she saw that the man was hitting her car window And when she said something to the man started yelling at her. So he was already erratic and violent and aggressive, not only to the vehicle, but to her. And she wasn't even in the vehicle. So now we get a clearer picture of what's going on. Now we know this man was aggressive and violent. So, article continues. Officers said another female employee who was outside of the business but still inside the gated area was able to retrieve a handgun that was lawfully in her possession and confront the man. The man then attacked the woman who had the gun and a struggle ensued, Pasadena PD said. You see how vastly different this article is with more information now that we waited for information, rather than just being like those dummy heads in the original article being like, well, in the hood, you don't know what people are going to do when they walk towards your car at midnight. It was like, oh, just murder people then. Screw it. You scared of the dark? That's completely fine. Go shoot people. Kill them. See how dumb that is? Oh, well, you don't know. You just don't walk near people's cars at midnight in the hood. It was just like, what a fear-mongering mentality. I did not know people from the hood were that scared. You know, that's embarrassing. But now we learned that that wasn't the case. Now we learned that it was just some rando banging on this woman's window after causing a crash. And then when she yelled at him, he started directing his aggression and aggressiveness towards her. And it was another coworker that was there in the area who pulled out her handgun that she was lawfully carrying and confronted the man. And guess what? The man decided to start attacking the woman with the gun. And the struggle ensued. When people usually say a struggle ensued, it usually means control for the gun. It happens to everybody, even law enforcement. Multiple videos on YouTube showing how law enforcement have had their guns fought over by the perps. Whether the perps were in handcuffs or not, cops had to fight for their gun. Well, anyways, article continues. Police said that the woman shot the man twice, which ended the struggle. The man was transported to HCA Southeast, where officers said he was pronounced dead. Neither the employees involved in the incident were reportedly injured. Investigators said the case will go to a grand jury. I don't know about you guys, but seeing as nobody else can testify to what happened besides those two females who were at their job or exiting their job at that time of night, and the man who is now deceased, I don't think, or at least they shouldn't, be convicted of anything. Man was there. He was caused a crash. He was being aggressive. He was being violent. And not only was he being aggressive towards the first girl and going up to her, but he was being aggressive towards the second woman who had a gun and still had the nerve to attack her and get in the struggle. I don't know about you guys, but when a gun is in the mix, when it comes down to a physical struggle against somebody else who's trying to cause you harm, I'm going to try and take control of that thing first and do what needs to be done. And that's exactly what this woman did. And guess what? She's alive. Her coworker's alive. And this man's no longer here to do this to anybody else who happens to be, unfortunately, ill prepared. So, yeah. So that was the whole thing. Second thing was this. A more cut and dry case that I saw today. I believe it took place in Ohio. Let me just double check to make sure. Just remember, guys, this is all on YouTube. Well, the news videos and everything like that. Man, I love this. Okay. The channel is called Law and Crime Network. And this happened yesterday, or at least it was released yesterday also. So an Ohio dad. So there was this girl. He had a daughter. He has a daughter, his wife. His daughter and his wife were coming home from a day out, from having lunch together or something like that. And the dad was already home. They have a Ring doorbell. You know, the Ring doorbells that have a camera, have a speaker, can record stuff and everything like that. You can watch it directly from your phone. So they had a Ring doorbell set up. So you see the mom and the daughter coming into the house. Shortly after them, walks up a young looking man, at least like in his late 20s maybe. And it turns out this guy is the daughter's ex-boyfriend. They had been broken up, according to them, for a couple years already and hadn't spoken to each other in a couple of years. One day, he just left her a voicemail, just being like, you know, I just want to talk to you, this, and that, yada, 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 you know, and she never responded back. So next thing you know, when they come home, he's now at their door. Hey, that's kind of creepy. That's kind of weird. No, not really creepy and weird. That's disturbing. Why do you feel like that's the correct thing to do? We're supposed to fight for our love, bro. That probably would have been acceptable, like maybe a day later or so after you guys broke up, or a week later, maybe. But this has been years at this point. Give it a rest. If you, one, why are you reaching out to her? You know? But two, if you don't get a response back, maybe that's for a reason. So just chill out, relax, you know? So this fool, he shows up to their door. I think he says a couple of words. Dummy head thinks it's a great idea. Hey, you know what? They're refusing to open the door for me. They're telling me to go away. Okay, I'm gonna start breaking down their door so I can force myself inside. So he starts doing that. He starts just like slamming against the door, trying to break it open, which at one point he actually successfully did it, because they showed aftermath pictures of the door hinges and everything. And yeah, he broke through that thing. So he starts breaking through the door. Dad is here. Hey, leave. You better leave. This isn't that. He's giving him warnings. So at the very end, bro breaks in, and dad has his own gun, fires at him 3 times. 3 times, hitting him. Ex-boyfriend runs out, goes a few feet from the porch, collapses. Gets to the driveway, drags himself to the garage door, and he dies. That's the end of him. The end of his life. Dad had some good grouping, I bet. So, like, neighbors come out shortly after. Oh, what happened? This and that and that. Ex-boyfriend broke into the house, caused the home invasion. I took him out. Hey, there you go. Police were called, of course. It's a shooting. Someone just died. Police arrive, and neighbors go like, the man, he shot him and now he's dead. And it's like, oh, that's the homeowner though. It's the homeowner who shot him and everything. It's like he was breaking into their house, you know. Good job on the neighbors having the homeowners back. And then, like, you know, the police call from the outside into the house and like, hey, is everybody unarmed? And it's like, yeah, we are. It's like, slowly come out. Yeah. So they comply. Amazing how when you comply, nothing happens to you. So, they come out, they start getting interviewed. They're not in handcuffs or anything like that. The homeowner tells the police exactly where the weapon he fired is at. They go inside. It's exactly where he said it was at. They took it into evidence. They're interviewing them about everything. So far, no files have been, no charges have been made against the dad, because this is a clear-cut case of somebody forcing themselves into somebody else's home physically. And it's not like they can be like, oh, I didn't know this is wrong. One, you're breaking into somebody's home. That's already wrong for the first time. For the first thing. Second, you were given multiple warnings to stop and go away. So you had 2 things that you should have heeded and left alone. But you didn't. So now you paid the price. He paid the price. And that's more of another example of a justified shooting that somebody lost their life, because it's just like, you don't do that. You don't cause a crash and start being aggressive towards women and then think it's a good idea to attack the one who has a gun on you and everything like that. 2, it's not a good idea to try and get with your ex years later after you guys have stopped even speaking to each other. Then think it's a good idea to ignore every single warning telling you to stop and to go home, and then proceed to break into their house, you know? And it's just like, both justified, both done from different people from different states under different times of day, different circumstances, both justified. It's the importance of waiting for more information to come out. Really, just practice that. Just wait for more information to come out before you look foolish. All right. So that was done with the serious episode of a series. Let me speak. Hold on. That does it for the serious portion of this episode. There we go. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, anyways, now it's that time again. Spoilers. You already know what I'm going to speak about. It's going to be She-Hulk, episode 3. Episode 3 came out today in Disney Plus, and I watched it already. What can I say about that? It's like, have you guys ever had arguments with people and whatever you're arguing about, and you know that you're 100% in the right? You could cite your sources, you could cite things proving that you are in the right, proving them completely wrong, having legitimate thoughts and ideas and comments, and when the other person doesn't want to admit it, they'll resort in the most childish insults and how do you call it, and try and fall back to just making fun of what you're saying, so they can just belittle you that way, because they have absolutely no way of having a legitimate rebuttal to your points. You guys ever have that? Well, that's basically what episode 3 of She-Hulk is. She-Hulk is still continuing with the whole men bad and dumb, men bad person, and everything. In the first episode, every single man in that episode is self-centered, animalistic idiots. They mansplain. All right, that's every man so far. Episode 2 continued with that. With her family, even her family, the guys are just idiots. Episode 3, no different. Every guy is an idiot. Every guy is a misogynist. Every guy is just garbage. And it's like, man, these people with victim mentalities, this is really how they look at the world, huh? This is really how they think life is. To the point where they cannot find any like real life examples of this happening every day to every single woman ever. So they have to resort to making it up in a kid's TV show. You know? So I don't know why, but I've been watching the show, and I was thinking, why is it playing weird? Why is the vibe of this so different from all the other Marvel shows, you know? Like Falcon and the Winter Soldier was basically a movie turned into a TV show. Moon Knight, by far in my opinion, one of the best series Disney Plus has put out, did a good job just telling a story, you know? In 6 short episodes, just told the story, and that was it. But like, again, a movie put into a TV show. Loki, just a TV show, really. But Loki did a good job also. Movie into a TV show. Actually, that changed my mind. This one played differently, and I had no idea why. Why doesn't it feel like a movie put into a TV show? Why does it feel like just filled with one-liners and abrupt stops, you know? Oh, okay. Because I found out recently, and by recently I mean yesterday, She-Hulk is supposed to be a comedy. Did anybody else know that? It was supposed to be a comedy. And then I look back at old trailers, and yeah, no, people, reviews, and trailers and everything are mentioning the show being a comedy. And I'm like, holy crap, this is supposed to be funny? And that made me laugh. And I was like, the fact that I learned that She-Hulk was supposed to be a comedy rather than actually laughing at the show itself, that's sad, you know? I mean, like, hell, I get even more laughter than the old style TV shows where they had a laughing track, you know? Supposedly tell me what the funny part is or anything like that. I laughed more times at those type of shows than I did at She-Hulk. I had no idea it was supposed to be a comedy. I was like, no wonder it plays different from all the other shows. So yeah, well, anyways, the thing, when I was giving the example before of people just making fun of your points or your facts and everything, was because of this. At some point in the show, and by some point I mean the fairly beginning, remember, spoilers, what they do is all the women are having a conversation. Cool, you know, regular conversation, talking about lawyers, about their work, about their cases, everything like that, expected. Then they pop off into the social media trend and everything. And the first video they play supposedly on social media was like, they demasculated Hulk and gave it to a woman. Which is funny because 2 or 3 episodes behind, I literally talked about that. How they legit screwed over the Hulk, made him a soy boy. And just look what we have now. This is the Hulk? No, I'm sorry, diehard Hulk fans. That's terrible. But now they're all like, oh, Jennifer, she's stronger. She's better than the Hulk. And I was just like, that's weird because in the comics, especially World War Hulk, literally, She-Hulk popped out and like just walloped her cousin in the face. Bro didn't even feel it. Instead, he didn't even hit her. He just grabbed her and just shoved her into the cement and kept moving. And she was there in shock. And she was like, he's never been this angry before. And it's a testament to his power. She's strong, don't get me wrong, but she's nowhere near the level of the Hulk. Another storyline. One of the most famous examples in comic history was when Hulk lifted up a 5 billion pound mountain. Let me see how much that was. Okay. Hulk lifts. Okay, boom. They did this and then they remade it in like in a newer version of that same comic. Oh yeah, Hulk lifts 150 billion ton mountain by himself. He's lifting it. He's holding it up because, you know, him and the other superheroes are underneath the mountain. The Hulk by himself is lifting it up. At one point in the comics, because throughout the entire time, at least in the newer version of that one, in the entire time, Hulk is saying like, none of you are strong enough. None of you can hold this up. And Jennifer Walters comes out and she's like, come on, cousin, give me some of the weight. I can help you lift it up with you. And he's like, no, you can't. And she's like, no, come on. So she puts her hands up on top of the mountain, well, the bottom of the mountain. And he barely relieves some weight from himself. And she just absolutely buckles. And then like, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, so she goes, no good. And then like, he go, and who was it? It was Hawkeye that told Hulk to go back to the place, in place, to keep holding up the mountain. And Hulk goes like this, I haven't moved it. I haven't moved. Barely gave her any of it. It's just like, dude, she's already given up. Yeah, that just shows how powerful the Hulk is. Look what we got. Dude doing yoga. And supposedly she's been a Hulk for like a day. And she could already do more stuff than he can. That's ridiculous. Oh, and I forgot to mention this last time. The thunderclap. Holy crap. Hulk's trademark move. She just got it in within the minute. Okay. Well, let me continue about episode 3 though. This is not about the other episodes. So they show criticism everybody's had on the internet. Hey, listen, they really did the Hulk dirty. They made him super weak. They make him into a soy boy and everything like that. And they make fun of it in the show. And then they have comments that I guarantee you that they got on YouTube. I guarantee you they got these comments on YouTube where just people goes like, why are people making all heroes into females? Why is everybody getting rid of the guys and just giving the powers to the girls? Why is this becoming a female fest and everything like that? And then they had one of the most legitimate criticisms that every actual comic fan made was this. I don't mind diversity, but make your own characters to do so, because it's just like you're killing off all these iconic older characters just for the sake of having a woman there or having someone who's a minority there. Make a unique, original character and build a fan base off of that, because that is 1 million times more respectable and desired than just making an already established character into a woman. So they used that and they started making fun of that. And it's just like, wow, that's what I meant with the example I gave. When you have legitimate stuff to back your stuff up, points, facts, everything on your corner, and the other person doesn't know how to rebuttal against that, so they just go ahead and start making fun of you or start making fun of the things that you're saying. That's exactly what episode 3 of She-Hulk just did. And it's just, you know, it's like, how do you expect this show to get better if you're doing everything in your power to make it worse? So, yeah, that's what episode 3 is doing so far. And then, of course, throughout the episode, they're just, every guy who pops up on screen is a dumbass, is an idiot, is a misogynist, is a dumbass idiot misogynist. So it's ridiculous. But anyways, Emil Blonsky, the character whom I'm excited for the most. They have Wong in there, which is cool. They don't have Daredevil, which pissed me off, but they had Wong in there. Abomination, Emil Blonsky. And this is the first time they showed Emil Blonsky turn into the Abomination, you know, because they're fighting for his freedom to be released on parole. He turns into Abomination, but he maintains control. He is now the third raged out character who can now control his anger, who can control transforming into the Abomination and back. How do you call it? What was I about to say? Oh yeah. Here's the thing that I didn't notice, and this isn't an issue with the She-Hulk episode. This is an issue in general. Emil Blonsky turning into the Abomination. Compare him to now compared to what he was in 2008. Aside from the aesthetics, he looks much better now. It's the fact that his voice, along with Hulk's voice, when they turn into their characters, they're supposed to have these like super low, deep, guttural vocals and everything. Like in the first movie he appeared in 2008, he was like, "You Lord deserve there's power," and everything. And now he's like, "Oh, see, I can control my powers," and it's like, what? What is it? What is with these voices? You know, I mean, I guess they want to give the actors, the actresses, you know, reason to be there, you know, rather than just use their likeness. But it's just, it sucks. How are you gonna have this gargantuan ass character that's the rival of the Hulk and just make him sound like he's from the UK? Hey, bruh, you know. But it's ridiculous. But that's just an observation as a whole in the MCU. Anyways, the rest of the episode was garbage. I watch it because I want to see what's good. I want to see what they're gonna do, who they're gonna introduce, and everything like that. Because I want to see if it'll turn around. At this point, I'm giving up on the series as a whole. The series is garbage, and I doubt it's gonna be good. I'm just more excited of who they introduce, and I was surprised that they introduced, for the first time ever, the Wrecking Crew from Marvel Comics. The Wrecking Crew. They've been around for decades. And I had no idea how they were going to make them into the MCU, if they even knew who they were. But they got the Wrecking Crew. There's this one scene where Jennifer's walking alone at night in the street as a woman. And this evil man comes up to her and grabs her. Oh my God. Well, she hulks out. She's like, oh yeah, that's right. I can turn into the Hulk. She does it. 3 more guys pop out. So 4 guys in total. They come out with their weapon, the construction weapons. And the construction weapons are glowing. Different colors, different lights, everything like that. Whoa, what kind of construction weapons are these? Immediately, when I saw the first construction tool that was glowing that they were using as a weapon, I knew this was the Wrecking Crew. I just knew it. And as soon as I saw the crowbar from the Wrecker, oh my God, I'm like, they did not just do this to the Wrecking Crew. Because the Wrecking Crew in the comics, they're not the most powerful characters. But the way they got their powers is the guy who is now known as the Wrecker. He was mistaken for Loki. And he was given powers. And he was given a mystical crowbar, which he went to his crew, had them all hold on to it in a stormy night. All 4 of them holding on to the crowbar. And they lifted up into the air, and all of it got struck by lightning, infusing all of them with their own tools into powerful, enchanted things. But this one, they just reverted them into like goons. Just goons with powered weapons. And even at that, in the comics, even with the powered weapons, they are formidable against any superpowered character. They fought against Thor. They fought against Spider-Man. They fought against the Hulk. They fought against She-Hulk. And they still gave them trouble. That's how powerful they're becoming in the comics. But in here, it's nothing. Absolutely none of it hurt Jennifer. Why? Because we can't show men beating up the women. That's domestic abuse. They don't even live each other. They don't even live together. They don't know each other. How's it domestic abuse? They can't show men. It's misogyny. But aren't you supposed to be equal? Isn't Jennifer Walters supposed to be this badass woman who can take on any man? Yeah, the show has to make one of the most powerful crew in Marvel character history into jokes, into goons. I was mad. What is it? They butchered. Oh no. Look how they massacred my boy.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah, well anyways, the whole theme of this entire episode was just, they always mentioned Megan Thee Stallion. I will admit, because every episode so far had an ending credit scene, I will admit that the ending credit scene in this one kind of got to me. Because even though I don't like people like Cardi B or Nicki Minaj or any of one of them, they're just hood rat ass music and everything like that. Megan Thee Stallion does fall into that same exact type of music also. I do find, when she fixes herself up, I do find Megan Thee Stallion attractive. I do, 100%. And she appeared at the end of the episode. And in the end, they just played her freaking song, like, body, yada, 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 and everything. And then, like, she was just throwing it back. I was like, I'm not mad at that. That was the only thing. That was the only thing that actually made me crack a smirk throughout the entire series so far. And I'm like, oh, man, where's Daredevil? I am so scared for Daredevil now. I swear to God, they better not butcher my boy. Oh, my God. What is this crap? I swear. And like, what do they call it? The MCU now? Because they're replacing every single character with a woman because girl power. Look, and here's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, they're turning into the MCU. That's terrible. No one hated Peggy Carter. And no one hated Natasha. No one hated Black Widow. They all liked them. Because you know why? Because those characters were introduced when Marvel movies were just trying to tell a good comic book story in theaters. No hidden messages. no agendas, nothing like that. They weren't going girl power or minority power or anything like that. They just wanted to tell a comic book story for people to see it and get more into comic books. And the quality of their movies back then, watch movies like the Avengers, like Captain America, like Thor, like the first two Iron Man movies, even up to Age of Ultron. Watch the quality of those films and you'll see that, oh my god, perfect example, Hulk in Age of Ultron when he's rampaging after Scarlet Witch screwed with his mind. That CGI is immaculate. Immaculate. It is prime CGI. And compare it to now. Ridiculous. Compare it to She-Hulk CGI for both Hulk and She-Hulk. Ridiculous. I swear. I always talk about this and it just always annoys me. But yeah. Other than that, let me see what else I got to say. The show sucks. I'm scared for Daredevil. Hopefully they don't butcher him, but seeing how they did with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, I'm really scared for it. I'm gonna make another video like I did before, hopefully like showcasing what was before the woke messages when Daredevil was just being used to tell a good comic book story, versus now if they choose to make him to push, wokeness and stuff. I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the last episode at the very beginning when I was mentioning the Horker loaf, showing how it looked in the picture of the book and how it came out, the final results. Again, I'm going to try and do another dish today, and if I do another episode tomorrow, I'll post it up there. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care of one another. Stay safe, and enjoy the rest of the time. Play Titanfall. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. See ya.